Hello everyone and welcome to Driver's Therapy. In today's video, we're going to be talking about a 2016 Porsche GT4 with 200,000 miles on it. Well, 200,000 plus miles on it. All right. Well, I have a notebook and I have an email and we're going to be looking at this because there's a lot of data. I looked at the website, I sent an email to the owner, and I'm really pumped up. Also, it's allergy season, so my eyes have been a little bit, so don't mind me blinking a lot. All right, let's get started. So this 2016 GT4 is owned by Randy Faunce. Now, I apologize if I mispronounce the name, but Randy is a car enthusiast, a volunteer, a track instructor or HPD and autocross instructor, I believe, and a big track day enthusiast. Now, he has a website called, and I want to make sure I get this right, it's called TrakTrek's, and you can look at all this information and more on his website. So I recommend you guys to check that out. So originally I was on Facebook and I saw a picture of a GT4 gauge cluster with 200,000 miles on it. And I was shocked because that is very rare. Like my 2016 GT4 has about 20,000 miles on it. And it's gone through about 4 owners. So that tells you that these cars are not driven a lot. But the great thing about the GT4, especially the 981, is that it does have a 3.8 engine in it, and it's one of the most reliable engines. But one of the main things I wanted to know was what went wrong throughout those 200,000 miles. Now, of course, that's kind of being pessimistic, but I am a ASC certified master tech and I have my L1 engine advanced specialist certification. I know it's a mouthful, but I'm a big technical nerd and engineer by heart. So I wanted to know essentially how the car held up over 200,000 miles. So after reading his website and sending him some emails, and I asked him about the transmissions because he is on his 4th transmission. I know that is scary. I mean, when I read that, I immediately knew that I needed to do some more research. So he said his first replacement was at 16,000 miles, and that was done by the warranty recall. In Road Atlanta, the 3rd gear went out. So it looks like it was done by the recall and his 3rd gear went out. Now I have a GT4 buyer's guide video and I have a separate GT4 transmission recall video talking about it. And my car had the transmission replaced via the recall as well in about that same time frame too, 16,000 miles, I believe, around there. So he had his first transmission replaced at 16,000 miles. He had his second replacement at 91,000 miles, extended warranty due to the spider gear tearing itself apart, metallic particles in the gear oil upon drainage, and a bearing hum sound from the rear end on firm acceleration. Thought it was from the center, not right or left wheel bearing or CV joints as I first suspected. And then the most recent replacement was 191,000 miles, and simply because the dealership computer told them to do so. I mean, all of this is extremely important for us to know as GT4 owners. And again, paid by the factory. The 3rd and 2nd gearbox had racked up 100,000 miles without issues. And now he's driving his 4th factory supply transmission. So one of the things I want to jump into right away is, and I asked him, and I wanted to know, like, what happened? And I wanted to get all the factors, you know, again, trying to approach this in a scientific manner. And I asked him, how many track days has he done? And he said 142. Now, I lived in Daytona and I did some track days, and 142 track days is a lot. And it looks like he is real passionate about driving. So this car was not driven, to your cars and coffee or to your occasional track day. I would say this one was on the high end of a track day. So then he says that around 191,000 miles, he had to do some ball joint replacements, which probably to me is the most normal thing I've read here. And that just makes sense. After 191,000 miles, the suspension would, especially the ball joints and stuff like that, would probably need to be replaced. But then something really freaked me out, because it seems like Randy got to experience the whole enchilada. And some of the things that when people are looking at GT4s, it's the transmission. And then there is like this myth out there that people have heard about, and that's the strut tower failure. And that's when the strut tower, that's when the pretty much the strut just launches out of the body essentially, and you have this big hole in the body. And to me, that's super duper scary. And he said that happened to him. He hit something on the road at highway speeds in the dark, probably a brick or something like that, and his insurance covered it. And when I did research on the strut tower failure, because this isn't just where you have to replace a part, it goes through the body. It's pretty gnarly in my opinion. And I read that other people got theirs fixed by the insurance, but he says it took a while to get a tub from Germany. I'm not sure what a while is, but it took a while. After all that research, first off, I have to say that this guy, I want to say Mr. Faunce, but if I'm mispronouncing that, I don't want to keep repeating it. But I'm going to say it anyways. So Mr. Faunce seems to be like a great guy, seems to love his cars, and he seems to have one of the things that I feel is missing in the world, and that's a great attitude. He seems to be plugging along, even though he's experienced a few significant repairs, and he's just plugging away with a smile based on what I've read. And I think that is really cool. So what do I think about this? Well, I'm going to assume, and this is just me, that those track days really do put are hurting on cars. We don't know Mr. Faunce's driving ability. I'm sure he's a great driver, but it's really hard to make a shifting accident with the GT4 because it's got rev match. You could still do a money shift, but that would be more of an engine issue than a transmission issue in my opinion. But it seems like he's just had to deal with stuff that we all kind of know about, and he's had it fixed, and it looks like he's had a great experience as far as getting those fixed by the factory and having that covered by the warranty. So I am super curious to hear what you guys think about this. I really recommend you guys go check out his website. Again, it is called TrakTrek, and that's TrakTrek. I'll put it right here, .com. And if you get an opportunity to meet in person or talk to him on Facebook, I highly recommend. He seems like a great, upstanding guy. And again, I love all the volunteering stuff he's done, and really, really awesome that he shared this with us and has shown us that it's okay to drive your GT4. Well, guys, I'm curious to hear what you think in the comments. Let me know. Thank you for watching. Take care, and we'll see you soon.